Okay, I'm making this video here on how to make the baseball bat muffler for your motorized bicycle. I had a lot of people asking me about it. Just had a guy messaging me and wanted some more info, so I'm making this video. So one, I can quit answering questions, but it's really cool. It's the baseball bat muffler. I got an Easton baseball bat from Kmart. It's $8.99. Super cheap. So here we go. We got all right, we got the baseball bat. Now, the first thing is the coupler. Now, this was original one of those drag pipes that they make for the OCC chopper. I should have got one from Jim Wilson. I got one from a guy on eBay, and I rode it for a few weeks, and it broke off right where the pipe went to go to a bigger pipe that went to the back. And so I modified the stock muffler because it broke, and I put it on there, but I just didn't like it. So where the baseball hooks to that pipe, I cut the pipe off shorter because I wanted my baseball bat to kind of be even with the rear of my rim, so it's quit spitting oil on my wheel. I still haven't cleaned the wheel, that's why it's still all oily and dirty, but I'll get to that. The baseball bat's here. I got a short piece of aluminum tubing right here. And I got that from an old outrigger pole from fishing. But if you just, they sell this aluminum tube at the hardware store. And so it's easy to get. Just go by size. This looks like it's about, I don't know, 3/4 right in there. Which would make sense because it was, this pipe here is the same as conduit. And so I wedged it on. I cut the bat handle off where the taper just started to come out. So it's like it's parallel here, but the taper starts, so it gets wider. And by hammering that onto this, it makes a taper lock. And they're both being aluminum, they'll expand and contract, they won't come unlocked. And it's in there good. I wailed on it with a big old rubber mallet I had, a big dead blow. This end, now the pipe here wouldn't quite fit into my aluminum tube, so I cut 4 slits in it to swedge it. And then I made a clamp out of aluminum strap and put an Allen bolt in it. These clamps are real easy to make, and I use them on everything. Like my tank is held on with it, and you can buy this aluminum stock at the hardware store too. And I got this little thicker, narrower piece that I use for heavier stuff. I got a wider piece here too. It's the same thickness, but it's a little wider. But see how flexible it is? And it's also very easy to bend, right? And so back here, I made a hanger for the pipe out of that. I made it wrap around the pipe really tight, and then cut it off and drilled a hole in it and bolted it to my frame. Clamps like that are easy to make. They beat wire ties on stuff. I see a lot of bikes with wire ties, and like if you look over here, I see a lot of these CDI ignitions that are just wire tied to the frame or taped on. Well, I made a nice aluminum clamp for it. It looks better, So anyway, they're all over this bike. But so back to the muffler here. After I cut the 4 slits, swedged it, and clamped it, it fits on there super tight. I mean, this thing's solid. I can pick the bike up with this thing, Now let's get to the baffling here. Now I have this aluminum piece. A friend of mine machined it out for me. I got a buddy with a lathe right down the road, which made it easy. Now, if you don't have a buddy with a machine shop, you can make a plug back here with using hole saws. If you get the right size hole saw, you can cut it in sandwiches and screw them together. So you got one wide one on the outside, and then cut some narrow ones to make this shoulder and bolt them together. Now I got a piece of 3/4, it's called EMT. It's basically electrical conduit, but it's steel tubing. It's good stuff. You can get it at the hardware store. I mean, everything here is hardware store. Now let me get this out of here. Now you can see I got a bunch of steel wool in there, and I got to dig some of that out because I'm actually got a little too much back pressure, but I'm making it real quiet. right now. And when I go back to the mainland, I live on an island, so when I go back to the mainland again, I will, I'm going to go get some of those scrubby pads, because everybody tells me that they're more porous, and they would be, and I'd let more air out. So I'm going to just leave that out, because I plan on going to hardware tomorrow, and I'll get some scrubby pads. But that's that part. But there's something else here, too. This tube, halfway down the tube, I have a plug in it, and it's a piece of machined aluminum, and let me put it over here where I got more light. It's a piece of machined aluminum, but it's a plug like this, and I drilled through it and ran a wire through it just to lock it in, and I bent the wire. And basically I got holes drilled in the tube ahead of the plug, and I have a few holes after the plug, not as many after the plug. Back here what I did is I drilled a hole at a time, and to let the back pressure off, but once I started four-stroking, I put some pressure back on by adding the steel wool. And so, but next time I go back with those metal scrubby pads, because they're more porous, let a little more air through, but still hopefully trap the sound. And that's all there is to it, really. And I got, I have 3 screws that screw into this. And right now there are 3 brass screws, but I plan to, when I go to town again, to the hardware store, I'm going to get me some Allen stainless screws. It's good to use something close to what they call the same nobility. And brass is like really bad, actually, about locking up in aluminum through something they call electrolysis. It's like a corrosion kind of thing. But so yeah, I'm gonna have Allen screws in there next. But yeah, that's it, man. So that's basically that's everything. Yeah, that's everything about the muffler I think you need to know. Sounds really good. It took a lot of the ring-a-ding-ding sound out of it, and it made it a smoother sound. And so yeah, that's it, man. So I'm just gonna sit here and jam on my radio, and I think I am here. Oh, wrong button. There we go. And y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you later.